There's an elephant and donkey both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody. Whoops. What's going on around here? There we go. Now we're on Oh No America. Gotta have the right lights on. Howdy, 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 y'all. Welcome back. This is Oh No America, and I'm your host, Nora. Today, we're, of course, continuing on the never-ending story of Project 2025, because this is a long ass thing. All right. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go over. I saw a question earlier from Cuddly Floof, who wanted to know how close I am to memberships and all that other stuff. So I'll give you all a peek on the insides here real quick before we dive in. And here we go. Okay, so we're at 621 subscribers, 1,555 public watch hours. Okay, and if you want to get memberships, so the first things that I can unlock are memberships, supers, and shopping. So I have to reach that 3,000 hour mark, or 600, and I have 619 out of 3 million shorts views. So I think the hours might come faster than the shorts views. That just seems like simple math to me, but I don't know. So there you go. That's where we're at there. To unlock everything, you have to get to 4,000 watch hours, and I need 1,000 subscribers. Okay? I'm gonna yawn. I'm gonna get it out. All right. Breaking news, though, politically, before we get started with Project 2025. That's the human turtle who's still in Senate, known as Mitch McConnell. Okay, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell fell today while coming out of a regular lunch with Republican senators at the Capitol. McConnell has had multiple health scares in the past few years, including freezing in front of reporters, which is called a ischemic attack. Yeah, it's a mini stroke. Medical personnel were seen entering and leaving his office on Tuesday. McConnell is fine. Incoming Senate GOP leader John Thune said at Tuesday's regular GOP press conference. McConnell left lunch Tuesday shortly before he fell in a room that's outside the Senate chamber. Incoming Senate GOP whip John Barrasso told Axios and other reporters on Tuesday McConnell was able to walk back to his office after the fall and has a scratch on his face. Okay, so McConnell fell down and got a boo-boo. All right, I just want this breaking news off of Capitol Hill. We're going to get back into this. We are still at part 3 of Project 2025. It makes me tired to think about it, guys. Okay, we're still in the forward. I'm going to scroll back up so you guys remember where we started. Okay, the mandate for leadership. We're at promise number 3. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. Like, we had gotten through some of this. Yeah, we're not done. Okay. Did I go too far? No. Okay, so we're going to start. They talked about Woodrow Wilson. We're going to start right here. That's why today's progressive left so cavalierly supports open borders despite the lawless humanitarian crisis their policy created along America's southern border. They seek to purge the very concept of the nation state from the American ethos, no matter how much crime increases or resources drop for schools and hospitals or wages decrease for the working class. First of all, the wage decrease has happened time and time again under who? A Republican-controlled, branches of government across the nation. Okay. They are blocking a federal minimum wage increase, not Democrats. Open borders activism is a classic example of what the German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer, because, me and him were tight, called cheap grace, publicly promoting one's own virtue without risking any personal inconvenience. This sounds exactly what all of this is in Project 2025. Indeed, the only direct impact of open borders on pro-open borders elites is that the constant flow of illegal immigration suppresses the wages of their housekeepers, landscapers, and busboys. I have none of those things. I don't have a landscaper or a housekeeper. I would love to poll the Republican members of Congress in both the House of Representatives and the Senate to find out which of them employs those people, because it's probably a lot. Cheap grace aptly describes the left's love affair with environmental extremism. Okay, so here we go, guys. Here we go. We got to just drill, baby, drill. Those who suffer most from the policies environmentalism would have us enact are the aged, poor, and vulnerable. No, the exact opposite. Those are the three people who suffer the most because of environmental pollution, environmental hazardous waste everywhere, lead paint, asbestos, all that shit. Because where do we dump all that bullshit? Right? We dump it in the areas where there are aged, poor, and vulnerable people. It's not a political cause, but a pseudo religion, right? Because the earth, we are not having more fires, more tornadoes, more hurricanes. Guys, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It is cold AF here. Guess what we just had off the Oregon coast? A fucking great white shark. They cannot swim and exist in cold water. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means the motherfucking ocean is heating up so much that great whites are like, you know what sounds good? Fucking Oregon right now. I bet those fatties are delicious. I'm going to head on up there. Fuck them orcas. I'm taking their turf. Like, that is bad news bears. There should be no great white sharks up here. Okay, so this isn't just some hyperbole, conservatives that we're trying to make money off of to, line our organically artisanal crafted vegan pockets. It is real life that we're experiencing here. Okay. It's not a political cause, but a pseudo religion meant to baptize liberals' ruthless pursuit of absolute power in the holy water of environmental virtue. No, we want to live. We want to live. At its very heart, environmental extremism is decidedly anti-human. What the fuck are you talking about? Stewardship and conservation are supplanted. Okay, stewardship and conservation is what we're asking for. Are supplanted by population control. Nobody's talking about that. You guys are talking about it by saying we need to pump up the population and economic regression. No, fucking electric cars are so fucking expensive. What the fuck are you talking about? Environmental ideologues would ban the fuels that run almost all of the world's cars, planes, factories, farms, and electricity grids. Yes, we need to evolve past fossil fuels. Okay, we have the technology to do it. Case in point, ethanol. Okay. Remember when they started the whole corn ethanol fucking craze, right? Okay. And everything was going to become ethanol. And they started producing cars with 2 tanks on them. One was the regular gas, one was the ethanol gas. And then people were like, uh-oh, fucking pump the brakes. We cannot grow enough corn in the entire world to supply the gluttonous habits for fuel of the United States. We will have to scrap that plan. But what do we see now at the pumps? Okay. Every single company you go to has 10% what? Ethanol in their motherfucking gas. Did your car change? Do you have an ethanol only car? No. No, it just goes right in the same motherfucking hole that the regular gasoline goes in. Okay? So this idea that we have to change up our cars and all this other bullshit is just that. It is bullshit. Okay? Secondly, years ago, there were independent companies working on algae-based fuel. They had developed like a gasoline type fuel and a rocket fuel. Algae is completely renewable resource. It actually sucks carbon out of the air while it's growing and shit. This would be the perfect fuel. What happened to all this algae fuel? That's right. Exxon bought up those companies and has now discontinued that research because it didn't prove scalable. That is a bunch of bullshit. Okay. I agree with you, Caroline. Electronic cars are not the solution. You know why? Not just because the electric grid runs off of fossil fuels, okay, and you have to recharge them constantly. The real reason why electric cars are worse than the fossil fuel pumping cars that you drive around right now is that the mining for the batteries, for the nickel and the cadmium in those batteries, is one of the most polluting things we do on planet Earth, because they do all of that strip mining up in Canada. Then they ship all of that fucking ore over to Japan where they make the batteries. Then those batteries are shipped again over to the factories. The amount of times these things are like going around, it is insane. It's insane. It's so polluting. We have to find a better way. I am convinced that a algae-based fuel, okay, can absolutely go into anybody's car right now. No one would even have to change their car. They might have to get a better spark plug. That's about it. Okay? But they don't want to do that because a renewable fuel, okay, that's actually environmentally friendly, that would probably burn 1,000,000 times cleaner than the gasoline that we have right now, right? How do they charge for that? It's the same way they're like, oh, solar power is for the birds. Or if you're Trump, you say, oh, the windmills are causing cancer, you know, like, and stupid shit like this. That's just stupid. It's not, there's no intelligence involved in it, right? So the alternative forms of energy, solar, wind, geothermal, algae-based fuels, all of these things are scalable and feasible. Look at Iceland harnessing geothermal energy, okay? But even they have said they cannot harness enough geothermal energy living on a fucking super volcano, okay, to balance out the energy that their country is using from other sources. Okay? So it is literally about capitalism and continuing to make money. Because if the oil companies gave 2 shits about what was happening to planet Earth, they would have already invested everything into solar, wind, geothermal, and algae-based fuels. But they don't. They care about their bottom line. They care about making money. That's it. That's it. At its very heart, environmental extremism is decidedly anti-human. Stewardship and conservation are supplanted by population control and economic regression. Environmental ideologues would ban the fuels that run almost all of the world's cars, planes, factories, farms, and electricity grids. Abandoning confidence in human resilience and creativity in responding to the challenges of the future would raise impediments. No, we're not abandoning it. We want innovation. Would raise impediments to the most meaningful human activities. They would stand human affairs on their head regarding human activity itself as fundamentally a threat to be sacrificed to the God of nature. Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, guys, if we don't turn this shit around, that's it. The earth is going to reclaim itself and we're going to be fucked because the earth don't give two shits what kind of phone you have, what your job is. You know, Mother Nature don't give a fuck. Okay. If the whole Pacific Rim, network of volcanoes that are above the ground and under the ground, and I'm talking about like Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood, okay, Mount Shasta, and all of the underwater volcanoes all simultaneously erupted, I would be underwater right now. Boom. We'd be liquefied. There's a massive vat of lava under Portland. All of Portland would be liquefied instantaneously. You see no record of it. It would not exist. Everything here would be underwater. Okay? That's what they talk about when we talk about the big one. Okay? Right? Pretty much almost all of Washington, gone. Oregon, gone. Half of California, gone. California is now an island. Okay? Central California, gone. There is now an ocean inlet between, fucking Arizona, Nevada, and the island of California. Okay. Yeah. Mount Tabor. Yeah. We have tons and tons. Well, Yellowstone's a whole other situation. I'm just talking about the Pacific Rim right now. I'm just talking about that one. Yellowstone's a whole other thing. If Yellowstone goes, we all dead. That's a super volcano that's bigger than Iceland. Okay. Yeah, that shit goes, you're fucked. There's nowhere to go except for underground. Okay? Mother Nature does not give two fucking shits about our menial existence here on this planet. But unless we start respecting it and understanding that we live on an alive surface and start respecting that alive entity, the earth, in some way, we've already signed our death warrants. Okay? Like that's just facts. So to paint it with this brush of like environmental extremism and blah, 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 like they just ignore history. Okay? Look at the Great Dust Bowl from the early days of the United States. Look at the nuclear winter that happened when Krakatoa blew up in the 1800s that affected the entire planet Earth. Yes, it wiped out the people on the island across from Krakatoa in about 5 minutes when the molten hot fucking ash went on the surface of the ocean over to the other island and wiped those people out. And then that ash covered the entire Earth and put the Earth into a nuclear winter for 5 years. That's one volcano. But we want to fuck around and find out because it doesn't suit some people's fucking pocketbooks to change the way we do shit. That's just BS. That's just BS. Okay, the same goals are the heart of elite support for economic globalization. For 30 years, America's political, economic, and cultural leaders embraced and enriched communist China and its genocidal Communist Party while hollowing out America's industrial base. Wrong. For 30 years, the Republican-controlled Congress and presidential suites have fucking begged China for money because they overspend shit where we don't have stuff. And now we are in debt to China, trillions of dollars. Take some responsibility, Republicans. What may have started out with good intentions has now been made clear. Unfettered trade with China has been a catastrophe. It has made a handful of American corporations enormously profitable. That's true. While twisting their business incentives away from the American people's needs. No, it's not. Are you telling me right now that this phone here in my hand, this innovative fucking piece of architecturally beautiful computer is not what America needs? Do we need to go back to just having a fucking landline and, maybe a pager or some shit? Listen, it's not my fault that Motorola shat the bed and couldn't keep up with innovation from Apple, from fucking all the other companies that were out there. Back in the day, let's be real. Krakatoa is with a K. Google, I'll show you. Krakatoa, Caroline. See? Krakatoa. There you go. It's with K's. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Motorola had their chance. They were the #1 electronics company in America. IBM. Where the fuck is IBM? When was the last time anybody bought an IBM anything? Okay? This shit happened during the VCR races, right? Of the 80s. I remember people used to give me shit. Oh, you have a Sony? Got that Japanese bullshit. Like, people are so fucking racist back in the day, right? Sony was a bad word because it was Japanese, right? Now, Sony isn't even that great. I don't even buy Sony shit anymore. I buy Anchor shit. I think it's from South Korea. I want the shit that is the best shit that I can get, right? And that I can afford. Okay? These phones right here, okay, because they're 256 gigabytes before they put that in standard, that's an $1,100 phone. Okay? Here's $2,200 worth of equipment right there in my hands, okay? What is Motorola making that's better? Right? What American company is making cell phones? Like, I know Apple's an American company and their phones are made in China. I get that. But what solely American company is duplicating what Apple's doing? Anyone? Bueller? Nobody, right? Now, people could say, well, why doesn't Apple bring their manufacturing process over to America? They have enough money. They could do it. They could scale it. They could, do all these things. You want to know why in simple terms, capitalism. Because they would have to pay American workers on average $20 an hour to work in those factories to assemble this stuff. Where they're paying workers in China, I don't know, 10 cents an hour, 25 cents an hour, where the fuck the equivalent is there. That is nothing. But they do a great job because clearly these are great products. Right? And then we could say, oh, well, it's the federal minimum wage problem. No, it's not. The problem is that people don't want to pay American workers to do the menial, simple tasks that they can pay someone in a foreign country nothing to do the same task. Because capitalism. Because here's the deal, guys. Does this phone have to be $1,100? Does this phone have to be $1,000, the iPhone Pro? It absolutely does not have to cost that much. Why does it cost that much? Capitalism. Capitalism. Because unfettered, unchecked capitalism allows the businesses to dictate the price and no one says boo. Okay? And that is what's wrong with the entire world. That is what's wrong with everything. Partially supply and demand. That's always what we were told, right? As kids, it's supply and demand. People want it, so we make it. First of all, supply and demand is an artificial creation engineered by psychologists who, fashion themselves as marketers and program the worldwide psyche to demand more. Okay? We are not getting the things that we actually need at a price that we can all afford in a way that makes it useful and helpful to humanity. We are being programmed to buy, to consume, to be okay with getting things that fall apart, very quickly. We are all okay with planned obsolescence. We have all accepted that all of the things that we buy have a finite usefulness shelf life. And we accept that after a while, we just got to get a new set. Okay, for example, I bought a very nice set of knives at Costco. Okay. And within a year of buying those knives, I haven't even really used them for a year. The handles are cracked on them. They don't hold, like I sharpen them with the little honing blade, but they don't hold their sharpness very long anymore. Right? It's a knife. It's a bloody knife. It should last forever. It's forged steel. Okay? You buy one of these stupid non-stick pans that's supposed to last forever. You can never scratch it, blah, blah, blah. Within 3 months, there's a scratch. And now you have to throw the whole pan away because you can't have all that shit leaching into your body. It's bad news bears. Right? So the problem isn't that American capitalists, in order to keep lining their pockets with profit, figured out, oh, there's cheap labor over their hills. I'm going to go there. And because Congress allowed them to operate outside of America and still make American profits, right? The problem is unchecked, unfettered capitalism for the sake of making money. How much good has been done in the world because we all have access to technology now and we have iPhones or Android phones and we can talk to each other, we can communicate. I think there has been good. But how much detriment, how much negative impact have these devices had economically, environmentally, and mentally on us? Okay? Like, we have to weigh that. We have to weigh these things out. So yeah, this idea that some, environmentalists want to stand, things on its head. Yeah, because we fucked ourselves. In some respects, there's no going back. Everyone's going to give up their car simultaneously and we're all going to start riding horses or horse-drawn buggies? Of course not. Are we all throwing our iPhones into the bay? Like we're the fucking revolutionaries throwing tea into the Boston Harbor. No, I don't think so. But we have to start thinking through what unchecked, unfettered capitalism is doing to the world. I've said it like 4 times now. I really hope you guys have gone to watch the movie Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy on Netflix. That will explain a lot of what I'm talking about here. Okay? Because it is there's a lot of things we can do from the position that we're already in to do our part. And I don't mean do your recycling. I mean, shit, I pay for the biggest recycle bin that I can. It's garbage day today. The sad truth is, does all of that, and I do only put recyclables in there, does all of that go and get actually recycled? No, it doesn't. Do the things in the grocery store that say recyclable, bring it back to the store, this packaging is recyclable, does that get recycled? No. A lot of that symbology and other stuff is bullshit. They just gather it all up together in that category, plastic number 6, and then they bury it or burn it. They're not recycling it. And there's a great line in this movie where one of the people says, when you throw something away, there is no away. Away doesn't exist. Right? We put our trash in the bag, we put the trash bag in the trash can, and then just like clockwork, every Tuesday, the garbage man comes and he picks up our trash bags, right? And where does he take those trash bags to? The dump, the landfill, to go get incinerated. Our trash just becomes more pollution and doesn't break down for a gajillion years because we all use plastic petroleum projects everywhere. And then when you say stuff like that, people are like, oh, you're an environmental extremist. You want us to stop drilling for petroleum. Yeah, actually, I do. Let's figure out another way. Let's go back to cotton. Let's just use cotton. Let's stop using these. I mean, listen, this is plush. I love it. But like, it's a polyurethane blend. Like a majority of our clothing is not made with organic materials. It's made with synthetic things that are derivative of oil. Everything around me right now, oil derivative, oil derivative. This is steel. So there you go. It's powder coated. But this stuff, oil derivative. Okay. Papa Smurf here, oil derivative, right? The thing around this cord and the plastic holding it, oil derivative, right? We are not utilizing the resources and the things that we have that we can make. Like people all around the world are making, disposable cutlery and plates and bowls out of completely renewable, biodegradable things like bamboo, out of banana leaves, out of corn, out of, wheat waste, out of all of these things. There's a guy in Australia who's making saran wrap, right? That is not petroleum derived. It's completely plant-based. Okay. So it is ridiculous to me with all this innovation, with all these scientific breakthroughs of, chemical engineering, that we simply continue to say, well, those are just environmental extremists. And all we got to do is keep drilling, energy independence, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Unfettered trade with China has been a catastrophe. It's made a handful of American corporations enormously profitable while twisting their business incentives away from the American people's needs. For a generation, politicians of both parties promised that engagement with Beijing would grow our economy while injecting American values into China. Okay, so here's the part where we had it twisted. We thought we were going to have all this trade and somehow China was going to fall so in love with McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Taco Bell that they were going to become American and not a communist controlled state. Like, guys, here's McDonald's, here's Kentucky Fried Chicken, here's Taco Bell, here's an Arby's. America. Like, no, bitch, they don't want anything to do with that. Like, give me a break. No, Caroline, we can't just go dump our fucking trash on another planet. What's wrong with you? That's bad. The opposite has happened. American factories have closed. Jobs have been outsourced. Our manufacturing economy has been financialized. All along, the corporations profiting failed to export our values of human rights and freedom. Rather, they imported China's anti-American values into their C-suites. No, the American factories closed because of unfettered, unchecked capitalism and allowing CEOs and the C-suite executives to set the sky's the limit, fucking on profits and their paycheck and not on the workers' pay, and not investing back in their own companies and their own workers. Right? And science and statistics tell us that when you reinvest in the American worker, your profits go up. Right? What's that company? I'm trying to think. It's a manufacturing company, and they make the custom inserts for cars, like the rubber things that you can put that are all weather things. Okay. That's an American owned company, and they do great manufacturing, and they literally give the workers a percentage of the company so that those people have a real stake in the company, and their profits are enormous. Okay. So all you got to do is invest in the American worker and stop investing in your third fucking yacht and shit. Even before the rise of big tech, Wall Street ignored China's serial theft of American intellectual property. Wall Street isn't in charge of that. WeatherTech, thank you. Thank you, Rox. WeatherTech. Look, thank you. I don't know what happened here. What is occurring here? Let's Jesus. Every time I open a comment, it's a new shape. It's like a little game. What shape will the comment box be when I open it this time? WeatherTech. Let's just take a side quest here for 1 second. Okay, here's their made in the USA. Okay, 100% auto, home, pet, find your fit. Okay, they have customer service that's based in the USA, United States English. They also operate in Canada, Europe, Mexico. Okay, United Kingdom, right? So if you go, they have so many products, guys, so many products. Okay, so if we go to the About Us here, why Made in America matters. As a business owner, this is Dave McNeil. I want to create high quality products that are designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America, built by American workers. You see, when something is made in America, it means more than just a good paying job for someone. Every manufacturing job actually creates 5 other jobs. Okay? Including the delivery of products, packaging, designing, engineering, and so on. Not to mention the communities and supporting the small businesses of where these workers live every day. Buying products that are made in America, the businesses have to operate in a system that is respectful to human rights, doesn't harm the environment, okay, and must adhere to certain quality standards. So the next time you're at the store buying anything, look and see where it was made and see if there's a similar product that is made in America. It might cost a little more, but what you'll be saving is a lot more than just a few bucks. I promise you that, okay? For decades, WeatherTech has led the way in supporting American workers. We design, engineer, and manufacture right here in the USA. We use the best materials, leverage leading edge technologies, and hire skilled laborers to create world-class products. These principles have always been important to us, and now they're more critical than ever, right? And so then they're showing you all of the different aspects of working at WeatherTech. Here's the new factory being built, all this stuff, okay? Here's company highlights. All right. Their stuff is good, right? So they do an in-house development. Okay. They have they have great quality. Their company headquarters is in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Okay. And they expanded from their made in America, boom, right there in Illinois, to all of these places around the world. Okay. They distribute it to over 84 countries. That's amazing. Here's the customer service peeps, the guys that you don't see, the heroes on the phone. And here's some of the people that are making the stuff. Environmental sustainability, guys. They know they have to recycle and reuse. Okay? The rubber and everything they use, nationally sourced materials. They're getting everything from America. It is possible to do this, to have a fully American company that still is profitable, that the employees are paid well, okay? That does a good job, that makes a useful product, right? Without people being so fucking greedy, right? Like, look at the Costco CEO. He only makes $500,000 a year. Why does the Costco CEO only take a $500,000 salary per year? Because he wanted to make the money and the profits available to pay his workers a living wage and pay for their health care. That's a responsible CEO. Okay. Illinois is bad. I know. I say it because it's funny. It's Illinois. I know that. It outright cheered the elimination of manufacturing jobs. Learn to code, they would gloat. Actually, everybody should learn to code because the future is in computers. These were just the price of progress. Engagement was at every step Beijing's project, not America's. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, dictated terms only to break them whenever it suited them. Yeah, they renegotiated and broke those terms because we keep owing them fucking trillions of dollars that we don't pay back. For fuck's sake. They stole our technology. That was that one time with the VCR guys. Calm down. Spied on our people and threatened our allies, all with trillions of dollars of wealth and military power financed by their access to our market. First of all, so what this is trying to suppose and say and allege here is that China only grew because their products, right, the bullshit that we get on Temu and Amazon and all this other shit, made Chinese companies rich because we bought the cheaper chicken and we're gluttonous consumers. So what's the real problem? Is the real problem that China got money because we are gluttonous consumers, or is the problem that we're gluttonous consumers of bullshit and we love cheap shit? Who programmed us that way? The American marketers since 1950 forward. Okay. The American dream, that's bullshit. That's not a real thing. That's a marketing campaign. All of this shit, 2 cars, 1 income, bum, 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 bum. All that shit is psychological warfare that America waged on itself to get women out of the workforce, to make men feel more empowered. And then it's the juggernaut that they lost control of. Because unchecked, unfettered greed disguised as capitalism doesn't help everybody. And we are seeing the after effects of that, right? This is the after effects of unchecked, unfettered capitalism. They stole our technology, spied on our people, and threatened our allies, all with trillions of dollars of wealth and military power financed by their access to our market. You have access to our market too. Just make something good. Then came the rise of big tech, which is now less a contributor to the U.S. economy than it is a tool of China's government. Wow. So Google, Microsoft, Apple, all these ChatGPT, which is another American company, they don't contribute at all to the U.S. economy. They don't employ Americans at all. Tim Apple isn't an American. What are we saying? What are we saying? This is just gobbledygook. It's absolute gobbledygook. In exchange for cheap labor and regulatory special treatment from Beijing, America's largest technology firms funneled data about Americans to the CCP. Incorrect. Okay? This is incorrect. Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Google, Microsoft, Apple, right? The big guns, they are not funneling things about Americans to the CCP. The CCP is gathering info on the daily about Americans from TikTok, from Facebook, from DJI, one of the largest supplier of drones and accoutrements here. Okay? Americans are freely giving their data to the CCP via those companies. As I tell my children very succinctly, you pay for something in this life with one of 2 things. You pay for it with your money, of which you can always ask for a refund or get that back, or you pay for it with your information. Okay? All of those free apps, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, fucking TikTok, Blue Sky, all of those are data brokers, meaning they take everything you create on their platform and they own it and they resell it over and over and over and over and over again. And you gave them your consent in those terms of service that nobody reads. And they just hit accept so they can go and scroll on the app to get their dopamine hit. Same thing here with YouTube. YouTube's part of the big tech. Okay? And yeah, does YouTube employ a lot of people overseas? Fuck yeah, they do. Anytime as a creator, I got to chat with the fucking help desk. I know those people aren't here. Sunshine and hope and love. Like, I'm not tapping into some hippie commune in Southern California that just happens to be the, fucking chat center for Google. Okay. Most every company has outsourced their customer service to the Philippines. Why? Because those customer service centers are all open 24 hours a day. The Filipino people have a good command of the English language, and they work for cheap. People they want to bitch about how American workers don't have anything. They don't want to pay American workers a living wage. No one here in America is going to work for 5 cents an hour. Okay? You have to pay people a living wage. People need a living wage, period. You have to pay people a living wage. The same can be observed of many U.S. colleges and universities. Okay, let's hear this conspiracy theory. Through the CCP's Confucius Institutes, raise your hand, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of the Confucius Institutes. Beijing has been just as successful at compromising and co-opting our higher education system as they have at compromising and co-opting corporate America. Who the fuck is getting a degree from the Confucius Institute? I have never heard of that. Also, people can't pay for higher education. It's fucking a joke. It's a joke. A casual reader might take the last few pages as surveying a broad array of challenges facing the American people and the next conservative president's supranational policymaking. Supranational. What? Oh, I skipped ahead here. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened here. One side, okay. They let Beijing censor Chinese users on their platforms. We can't tell other countries what to do. Okay. America's largest technology firms funnel data about Americans to the CCP. We went over that. That's wrong. They hand over sensitive intellectual property with military and intelligence applications to keep the money rolling in. No, they don't. That's called espionage. That's just insane that you would allege that. That's treason. They let Beijing censor Chinese users on their platform. Correct, because that's the law in China. Chinese people are under different laws than us. We can't regulate a law in another country. Your guys are the ones that are for like less government. They let you got a degree from the Confucius Institute, from the Confused Institute. Okay. They let the CCP set their corporate policies about mobile apps. What in the fuck are they even talking about? And they run interference for our rivals' political priorities in Washington. No. China and Russia are equal opportunity shitbaggers on both sides of the aisle. They like chaos. They want to see everything burn. And they are taking down both sides of the aisle, Russia and China. They don't give two shits. They're not favoriting one side. They're not like, we love these liberals. I love AOC. I'm going to help her out. Like, no, they don't give two shits. One side of big tech companies' business model is old-fashioned American competitiveness and world-changing technological innovation. Okay. Yes. But increasingly, that side of these businesses is overshadowed by their role as operatives in the lucrative employ of America's most dangerous international enemy. No American companies are employed by a foreign entity. That is hyperbolic nonsense. If you want to understand the danger posed by collaboration between big tech and the CCP, look no further than TikTok, which is a Chinese-owned company with close ties to the CCP. It is not an American company. The highly addictive video app used by 80 million Americans every month and overwhelmingly popular amongst teenage girls is in effect a tool of Chinese espionage. That is correct. That is correct. You are giving all of your data over to China every time you open up that app and use it and like things and comment and etc. Because TikTok in China is not the same as TikTok in America. TikTok in China is educational, and they are limited to like 2 hours a day on TikTok, and then your app won't open until tomorrow. Okay? The ties between TikTok and the Chinese government are not loose. No, this is very true, and they're not coincidental. Also, very true. Okay? The heads of ByteDance, etc., are all, members or related to members of like China's, CIA. Absolutely. The same can be observed of many U.S. colleges and universities through the CCP's Confucius Institutes. Okay, I have to look this up because I think this is bullshit. Confucius. Okay, Confucius Institute locations. Okay. How many Confucius Institutes are in the United States? Since 2004, the Chinese government has sponsored Confucius Institutes on college and university campuses around the world, providing teachers, textbooks, and operating funds. Outsourced to China, Confucius Institute and Soft Power in American Higher Education found that Confucius Institutes undermine academic integrity and import censorship. Confucius Institutes began closing in the wake of state and federal policies targeted Confucius Institutes for their risks to U.S. national security. But in June 2022, the NAS found that many once defunct Confucius Institutes had reopened under new names. Many colleges and universities have replaced their Confucius Institute with a substantially similar program or maintained closed relationships with Chinese institutions that have partnered in the Confucius Institute. These rebranding efforts match those of the Chinese government, which has reorganized Confucius Institutes under a new organization, the Chinese International Education Foundation. Okay. There's a total of 10, guys. 10. There's 10. A total of 111. Okay. So that have closed or are in the process of closing. Okay. So these are the ones that are left. So this is why does it only show up when I move away from it? Okay. So how there are 5,300 colleges and universities, okay? 5,976 post-secondary Title IV institutions. 1,892 public institutions. 3,931 degree-earning ones. 2- and 4-year colleges. I mean, so we're talking, let's just say the number is 5,300. Okay, let's just say the number is 5,300. What percentage is 111 out of 5,300?
111 divided by 5,300 is approximately 2.0943%.
2%, guys. 2% of schools. 2% of schools have this program. 2%. And we're going to say like it was in every school. 2% of schools had a Confucius Institute or some version of it. And there's currently 10 left with it. I don't even know. I can't with the math. What percentage of 5,300 is 10?
10 divided by 5,300 is approximately 0.1887%.
It's not even 1%. It's not even 1% now. This is the hyperbole that they're going to, the Chinese have invaded. They've invaded our shores. They've invaded our institutions. They're melting the minds of teenage girls. It's just crazy sauce. It's complete crazy sauce. Confucius Institute Beijing has just as successfully at compromising and co-opting our higher education system. No, they can't have co-opted higher education when they were only in 2% of schools, as they have at compromising and co-opting corporate America. No, they haven't co-opted corporate America. A casual reader might take the last few pages as surveying a broad array of challenges facing the American people and the next conservative president. Oh, supranational. That's what I went to look up that one time when I skipped all that nonsense. What does that mean? Having power influence that transcends national boundaries or governments. That's not good. A casual reader might take the last few pages as surveying a broad array of challenges facing the American people and the next conservative president. Supranational policymaking. We cannot make policies for other nations. That's not our job. Jesus Christ. Policy, border security, globalization, engagement with China, manufacturing, big tech, and Beijing compromised colleagues. But these really are not many issues, but two. Okay, here we go. We're going to simplify it. One, that China is a totalitarian enemy of the United States, not a strategic partner or fair competitor. I don't think they're a fair competitor. And I don't think that they're a partner. I think that they know exactly what they are, and they are winning. And two, that America's elites, aka the 1% of the 1%, have betrayed the American people. I agree with that. The super rich and the greedy capitalists, fuck yeah, they fuck the American people. The solution, here we go, guys. Here's the solution to all of the above problems is not to tinker with this or that government program, to replace this or that bureaucrat. These are problems not of technocratic efficiency, but of national sovereignty. Again, America first bullshit. And constitutional governance. We solve them not by trimming and reshaping the leaves, but by ripping out the trees, root and branch. International organizations and agreements that erode our Constitution. Republicans, take note, because this whole thing erodes our Constitution. Rule of law or popular sovereignty should not be reformed. They should be abandoned. Yeah, burn this book right now. Just get rid of it. Pretend you never wrote it. Illegal immigration should be ended, not mitigated. The border sealed. What is this, a Ziploc bag? We're just going to make sure you suck out the air first. And then, so it's nice and tight. How do you seal the border? How do we seal it? Are we going to dig a moat? We're going to dig a big-ass moat around America? And don't let people come in our moat. We're going to fill it with alligators and shit. What the fuck? Not reprioritized. Economic engagement with China should be ended, not rethought. Oh, good. Let's just cut off China. America doesn't depend on anything that comes from China whatsoever. We'll be totally fine. Our manufacturing and industrial base should be restored. Sure, just like this. Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. Boop. Magically, now there's factories everywhere, guys. Look at those factories. Detroit came back to life. Not allowed to deteriorate further. Confucius Institutes, there's 10. I'm sure we can handle that. TikTok, I don't necessarily disagree with the TikTok ban. I don't think people should be giving over their personal information to any foreign government, friend or foe, period. Because I don't trust people. And any other form of, any other arm, of Chinese propaganda and espionage should be outlawed. Espionage is already outlawed. That's redundant. We don't need that. Not merely monitored. Universities taking money from the CCP should lose their accreditation. I'm sure they're probably already not really accredited universities anyway. And eligibility for federal funds. All 10 of them that are left. All 10 of them, which is less than 1%. The next conservative president should go beyond merely defending America's energy interests, but go on offense, asserting them around the world. Okay, so more war for oil. Fuck that. Fuck that. America's vast reserves of oil and natural gas are not an environmental problem. Absolutely they are. They are the lifeblood of economic growth. No, they are our death warrant that we are handing ourselves daily. American dominance of the global energy market would be a good thing for the world and, more importantly, for we the people. No, stop. So we're totally okay with natural gas pipelines ripping up Ukraine and partnering with Putin because we get a percentage of that somehow? Fuck that. Fuck that. It's not just about jobs, even though unleashing domestic energy production would create millions of them. Yes, right there, yes, it would create jobs. We'd have a ton of jobs that are polluting our earth, that are putting humans in danger by exposing them to carcinogens, okay? And unprotected fucking work, environments that kill people. Jesus Christ. It's not just about higher wages for workers who didn't go to college. Like, look at that. Look at how they demean people who didn't go to college. Most people can't afford college, dumb shits. Though they would receive the raises they have missed out on for 2 generations. And whose fault was that? Fucking Reagan trickle-down economics bullshit that never trickled anywhere. Full-spectrum strategic energy dominance would facilitate the reinvigoration of America's entire industrial and manufacturing sector. No. Let's follow the WeatherTech model and make goods that are needed and wanted in an environmentally responsible way while paying your American workers a living wage. Let's start growing bamboo in all these vast flyover states that can't keep shit growing because of water shortages, because bamboo doesn't need a lot of water. And we can make so much shit with bamboo. It grows faster than cotton. You can make it into fabric. You can make it into a plastic. You can make it into so much fucking shit. Why aren't we doing that? Why isn't there a bamboo revolution across the country? That would create manufacturing jobs. That would create all the same things without killing the whole goddamn planet Earth in the process. Full spectrum strategic energy dominance would facilitate the reinvigoration of America's entire industrial and manufacturing sector as we disentangle our economy from China. Globally, it would rebalance the power array from dangerous regimes in Russia and the Middle East. Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure, fucking Putin and Trump are just going to have a little rendezvous as soon as humanly possible so they can just give each other a big old hug. They're suckless. It would build powerful alliances with fast-growing nations in Africa and provide us the leverage to counter Chinese ambitions in South America and the Pacific. Yeah, deforestation and other things, you just want to get in on that train? No, fuck you, no. Locally, it would drive billions of dollars of private investment to the communities that have been hammered by globalization. Really? What are the plans? How would that drive billions of dollars? Why, if they have these billions of dollars, why don't they just fucking put it in the community right now? Yes, hemp is a durable material. True fact time here. True fact time. The original Ford vehicles were made with a hemp plastic derivative, and they ran on peanut oil, motherfuckers. All of that is renewable. And then the oil barons were like, fuck your peanut oil. You're going to use oil, motherfucker. And Ford was like, okay. And then you're going to make your plastic out of the fucking petroleum that we just pumped out of the ground. Okay. We had environmental solutions from the beginning. And who did they get stamped out by? The Rothschilds, you know, and all those other fucks who are running the global elites that still run all the shit, the Illuminati and whatever the fuck else. Okay. It's the same thing that happened with the railroad barons, right? It's the same shit over and over and over and over and over, right? Where very few people get to maintain their power, but magically, if the right opportunity came along for them, they could just infuse the chosen, poors with billions of dollars. Fuck you. You have the money now. Go put the money in the communities. Why don't you take that billions of dollars and erase the food deserts that we have across this country in the poor neighborhoods where the only things available for people to shop at are liquor stores and corner markets and gas stations where they cannot get the staples and fresh fruit and vegetables that they need to have a nutritious life. You want to wipe out diabetes? You want to wipe out, obesity in this country? Provide people with fresh goods across the planet and make it accessible. Stop only giving people trash to eat and then tell them they are trash because they eat the only thing available to them. I'm so tired of it. And it would clarify our intentions to Beijing that the next president can ensure that a large part of America's reindustrialization is in the production of the equipment we will need to dissuade future foreign meddling with U.S. vital interests. Guys, I can't. How long is this one? How long is number 4? We're going to have to do this tomorrow. Oh my God. Oh my God. That puts us at the end of the forward. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to finish the forward, guys. For fuck's sake, Jesus H. Christ on a cracker. This stuff gets me so fucking amped up, guys. I am so amped up about this. It is just it is so ridiculous, and just the pocket full of lies here that is this thing. They are attacking the Confucius Institutes, which make up 2%. 2% of campuses, guys. What is that? Is that the cord? No, other side, Nora. No, it's also a piece of hair. That's what I thought. See, all my things. That's how upset I am. My glasses are stuck to this. I've got a piece of hair falling out of my little pony. Guys, I've got my dander up. I am just livid. This is the living end. This is the literal living end. And we haven't even finished the forward yet, y'all. We have not even finished the forward of this godforsaken shitstorm document that I cannot believe that people who have real jobs and degrees sat down and wrote for over a year. This is just a fever dream of conservative wish list nonsense that they've decided is going to be the new doctrine moving forward starting January 20th. Okay, let me get to your questions and comments. Hi. Huh? Hang on. I'll be right back, guys. 1 second. And I'm back. Okay. Let's get to your comments and questions, guys. I have to go forage for food at the local Safeway. Oh, all right. Sometimes I want to fire my housekeeper and then I remember that's me. Yeah, me too. If we had alien technology since the 1950s, that means we have the solution. It's being hidden from us. Yeah, that's possible. But the aliens are all leaving now. Caroline, they've had enough. Sorry I'm late, but what I'm hearing is race to the bottom. Joe Madison, RIP, talked about it. Yep. Deborah Malott in the house. People will give you dirty looks and look at you like you're beneath them if you're not wearing the newest things or if your car isn't the newest. Oh, there's more to your comment here. You get looked down upon. Yes. Yes. Isn't that why most of these companies have patents for the ecologically sound products? Oh, Aubrey, don't let the Illuminati know that you found out the secret. They'll come pay you a visit. Our council was the first to provide plant-based bags for our green bins, so food waste can be turned into mulch for parks in the area. Pretty even, yes. Like, why aren't we just all fucking doing that? Why doesn't every park just have a goddamn compost pile and we just go put our, our flora waste in it, as my stepdad used to say. My pop-pops, he would say we'd have to separate out, like if we had just eaten like a big chicken meal and we had, let's say, vegetables with it and rice, okay? And you didn't eat everything on your plate. We wouldn't just throw everything in the trash. The fauna, the chicken bones, would go into the trash. That didn't go to the compost. And then we would have to put all of the compostable things in a separate bag. We had a huge compost pile at our house, right? That's where I learned about compost. You put all your flora into the compost pile. Cuddly Floof in the house. Oof, that scared me. That's my dog outside barking. It means he yanked my wife. I hope she's okay. Manufacturing really started to decline in the late 70s and 80s. That was the Reagan-Margaret Thatcher years as leaders of the time, both right of center political parties. One second. You guys can't hear me. I got to check something real quick. One second. Okay. Just making sure my wife was okay. Are you a coder, Aubrey? Good for you. I need to learn to do that, I think. I need to learn to code. Yeah. Less government, except for trying to interfere in other government. Yeah. Like, what? What? MAGA ain't about that book learning and are against anything the Chinese, unless it's Epoch Times run by a Chinese cult. Interesting, right? It should not be America first. It should be billionaires first. Correct. Why do they not just say what they mean? Yes. Yes, Deborah. Preach it. Preach it. So many inbreds are going to be made in the next few generations. Yes. That translates to, oh, poors, here's your measly jobs. Not a career, mind you. Yep. ADD, ADHD would make a much better job. Neurospicy peeps would talk sense and be deeply creative. Just saying, neurospicy rocks. Yeah. Yes. As a fellow neurospicy, what's the word? I concur. Correct. This sounds like globalization of the good old-fashioned way, the colonizers. Yeah. Yeah. Stop pumping farm animals full of steroids and meds. It doesn't make healthy meat to eat. Don't get me started on pesticides. I'm with you on both of those counts. Oh, you also are neurospicy? Well, good job. Welcome to the club. I have read enough of this to know how bad it really is and what we are facing. Yeah. Guys, we're not even through the forward yet, and it's already terrible. Okay? It's already terrible. What did I spell? That's not question. Sharks are cold-blooded. Can't they live in cold water? No, the opposite. Because they are cold-blooded, when a cold-blooded animal enters a cold region, like let's say there's a pond in your backyard and the pond freezes over for the winter. All of the amphibians that live in there, the frogs, the toads, things like that, they will just become frozen, right? Until the thaw, until it's warm enough for their blood to circulate again, right? This is why things like snakes and stuff like that, when it's winter, they go underground because their blood would literally freeze. That's why sharks have to be in warm water because they would just stop moving. Sharks cannot breathe if they don't continue moving, and the cold water would essentially make them sleepy until they just die because they wouldn't keep moving, right? So no, that means the waters here are warming. It's very bad. Was this written by someone that had ADHD and given Ritalin and a Red Bull? Probably. Probably all of them. But like literally, you know, using ADHD for evil is a bad habit. Yes, we went over this hemp situation. Yes. How are my watch hours? Deborah, let's go back to that real quick here as the last thing before we leave. Boop. Here we are. We are at 1,555 public watch hours. Oh, you guys can't see that. Please hold. Okay, 621 subscribers, 1,555 public watch hours, 619 shorts views out of 10 million needed. So I've got a ways to go on that, but I only have to get one or the other of these. So I need 4,000 total to unlock all of the things, which I would love to. We're obviously closer to 3,000 than the 4,000, which gets you the first 3 things that you can unlock, which is the supers, shopping. I can put my, hook up my website there, and of course memberships. Okay. Yeah. And then as you continue to grow, then you can get all of this other stuff. So really the watch hours, we need more. If you can share this channel with your friends, I would appreciate it. Appreciate so much. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in to this absolute terror fest that is Project 2025. We'll be back tomorrow with the end of the forward. And then we're going to move forward from there. But I want to go over this inch by inch, letter by letter, because we absolutely need to know all of these things so that we can, find out how to combat it. All right. Yeah. And Caroline and everybody else out there who, who's on Social Security and Medicare, please pay attention to this document. We're going to get to that portion. The Republicans have been threatening for decades to gut Medicare and Social Security. Social Security is already broke. People like myself and my wife, our generation, Gen X, the millennials, and elder Gen Z are all paying your Social Security that you're collecting right now. The funds that y'all put in there, they've been gone for a long time. They went to bail out the banks and the fucking car companies in 2008. They took that money from Social Security and they said they were going to pay it back, and they never paid it back because it's a miracle. It's just like more money just keeps coming in. It's the greatest Ponzi scheme on earth. And for those of us who are, in Gen X, millennials, and elder Gen Z, and Gen Z and Gen Alpha, we will not see one dime of that ever because it will have run out, which is where we're at right now. So get a Roth IRA, everybody. Invest in that. That's all you can do right now. Be aggressive. You can put up to $7,000 a year in a Roth IRA, and that shit will grow like gangbusters. So definitely do that. I'm not a financial advisor. Please talk to go to Fidelity. You can open an account on your phone and fucking start depositing from your bank right there. That's my personal advice. I'm not a professional, but please go do that. All right. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No, America. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and given you a little sparkle of America. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com.
Current events and headlines that blow your mind. Only on Oh No America you'll find.